Have you done the late payment removal hack? You know, that hack that raises your credit score by over 100 points? Well, stick around because we're going to hop right in and I'm going to tell you all the sneaky little details of how you can get started on that right now and you don't even have to send a letter. Let's hop right in. Hey, what's up, everyone? It's me, Jazzy Mac. I'm so excited to be back in front of you with yet another credit hack. Today, we're going to talk about how to remove those pesky little late payments that appear on your credit report, whether it's from a late payment for your credit card, or maybe you had an auto loan or even a personal loan. This is something that you can definitely use to increase your credit. Now, you may be saying, well, Jazzy, how does that work? What do I need to do? Is it going to be another round of sending letters? And I wanted to make sure that I let you know some shortcuts that you could use that don't involve sending a letter to anyone. Now, of course, as all of you know, I do have the Credit Boost kits down below in the description box if you have other things like collections or charge-offs that you're working to get off of your credit. But this specifically for late payments is going to be something that anyone can do. Now, what is a 100-point hack? Well, let's say that you had perfect credit history. You made all of your payments on time. You've never had a collection. You built your credit up to a beautiful 800. Well, let's say for some reason you just missed a payment or it was a little bit late and you got hit with a late payment reporting status on your credit report. That one late payment alone has the potential to lower your credit score by 120 points if you had perfect payment history in every other situation. Now, if you've had, less than perfect credit, you were down in the 500s and you got a late payment, chances are you're not going to see as much of a hit, but the higher your credit score is, the bigger of a hit that you're going to take when a late payment is reported. Now, listen, we're about to dig into this stuff and things are going to get really juicy. So before we get into it, I'm going to need you to give me a like and a subscribe. Please go ahead and do that. I'll give you a moment. And I need you to comment down below and let me know that you're going to take these steps once I explain them to you. So the most effective way for you to get a late payment removed is by simply sending an email to the CEO of a company. Yes, I do have a list of the CEO emails in my credit kits because I tried to make it super freaking easy for everyone. Now, the way that you would do this is you send an email that basically says, hey, I noticed that there was a late payment reporting. This has really, really hurt my credit score. And I basically just would really love if you could update that status because I'm in the middle of applying for a mortgage. And I promise to, never be late again. I've already enrolled in auto pay. I just need this one thing to be adjusted. So places like Capital One, when it comes to companies like that, they're kind of historically known for being pretty empathetic with their customers as far as like removing late payments, just as a courtesy. And another company where I've seen this happen is even American Express has been kind of generous, and Discover has been generous when it comes to removing late payments. Yes, it's going to kind of depend on like if you only had one late payment, then you have a better chance of removing it. But if it's multiple late payments, then there's a different path that you'll take. So that first method is just going to be simply emailing the CEO of the company to make this sort of request. Now, the other way that you can ultimately remove late payments is going to be through the expiration date. Now, many companies won't tell you this, but I'm Jazzy Mac, so I give you all the tea. If you have a late payment, some companies actually have a policy of where they don't report late payments past a certain time frame. Some companies will only report late payments that happen in the last 12 months. Some will only report something that happened in the last 24 months. So if you're outside of that window, you could easily call the company and say, hey, what's your policy? How long do you report late payments? Now, every now and then a company is going to say 7 years, but most companies aren't that stringent when it comes to reporting. So some of them will actually say we only report things that happened in the last 6 to 12 months. And if your late payment was outside of that window where it happened 24 months ago, then you could simply say, hey, according to your policy or what you shared with me, it looks like this payment would actually qualify to be removed from my credit report. So can we remove all old late payments that occurred more than 12 months ago? So that's something that's super effective. It just requires you to make a phone call to just ask what the general policy is around how long they report. Now, the third thing is going to be pretty much where some of you, this is kind of the old school method of just sending a goodwill deletion letter in the mail to the credit card company or to the auto lender company. This is something that works for a few companies. Some companies, won't really respond to the request. So that's why it's oftentimes better to email, which is something that is a little bit more direct. So you definitely have that option when you're trying to remove these late payments. So when you're asking for like any type of adjustments to be made, of course you want to ask nicely and not be all mean and stuff like that because you're asking for a favor. But yeah, that's just something for you to be able to consider, which sort of route you want to take. But again, emailing the CEO directly is pretty much the most effective way. Usually you'll hear back within a week or two of them saying, hey, we removed it as a courtesy, or they might tell you, if there's any blockers that's preventing them from doing that, they'll also tell you that as well. So, as far as the fourth method for removing a late payment, I want to just emphasize that when it comes to late payments, a late payment should only be reported if you were 30 days late. Not if you were 29 days late, not if you were 28 days late. Let's say you were 29 days late paying something and they reported it as a late payment. By law, they can only report it when it hits that 30th day. So if you came within, you're within that 28, 29 day window and they reported it, you could simply call your credit card company and say, hey, I was actually only 28 days late. So you should have never reported this as a late payment to my credit report. So these are some of the different things that you can try out. If you need access to the CEO list, that is definitely in the credit kit, which is down in the description box. Please let me know how this goes. Let me know if you were ever successful in getting something deleted and, what company it was for. So until the next time, I will see you in the next video. Bye.